Morning, this is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. I have to rush this because for some reason my battery is empty. I am redoing a video. I got home a few days ago from Manila, the Philippines, and I hadn't slept in many days and nights, and I was jet lagged beyond belief. And so I am re-editing some portions of that video right now, this morning, because I just want to be factual and not sound like I'm a dead zombie type person walking around like I did. When I got home the other day from the Philippines, the first thing I noticed was the entire fence of the chicken coop was destroyed and flattened to the ground from the far back corner all the way up to here. Now, many of you may remember I had just installed that fence, and it was flattened to the ground all the way from the far back corner all the way along. The entire row of chicken fence was destroyed and flattened all the way up to here. And this front was damaged slightly, but the door was wide open, and since the chicken wire was flattened to the electric fence, of course animals got in and killed some of my chickens. So I've lost a lot of birds. Some are injured and wounded. Actually, I see that my big rooster has a badly mangled foot. I had to put one chicken down because half of his body was ripped apart. He was missing a whole big area of the bottom part of his body, and my favorite little bantams are gone. So it's very sad. I was very distressed and saddened and jet lagged in a bad way when I got home. So I am redoing this video. Anyway, the cops were here. I filed a police report because there were, I'll show you the tire tracks back here that Chris and I discovered. Some either bicycle mountain bike tracks or dirt bike tracks. Somebody came down the hill and the tracks were clearly, I think they'll show up in video. We'll show you that later. I'm going to redo a lot of this footage because, like I said, I was really jet lagged and I was not sounding good at all. Of course, I was also quite depressed and saddened from losing my birds. The police were here and agreed that this is not animal damage. This is not destruction from animals. My entire fence line, my brand new fence line, has been beat down from the top. Looks like somebody beat it with something. And the police said bear wouldn't do this. Deer obviously wouldn't do it because the entire fence line has been destroyed for quite a large section here. My brand new fencing has been beat down from the top down, and a very large majority of it here is all gone, okay? And an animal would probably break through in one place from the ground or whatever, and then do what it had to do and then probably break out somewhere else or whatever. But anyway, then there's a lot of damage in the forest in different places out and about. Where the tire tracks come through has been flattened to the ground in a large area where they obviously came and went as they pleased, the people who were here. And down in various places the fencing has been destroyed. So my brand new perimeter fence I am going to have to rebuild and repair. I sort of rigged up the chicken wire for now to hold up, to sort of contain the chickens. My garden was absolutely destroyed and demolished by the birds, which were then free, and so my entire harvest is gone. All the tomatoes and cucumbers and melons and squash have been devoured by the chickens. When people say that you should let your chickens into your garden to help, you should never, never, never let your chickens into your garden until after the harvest, and definitely not when you have any food growing, because chickens will ravage a garden quickly, and they did. So my garden is pretty devastated for now. They really ravaged it. Chicken's favorite food happens to be people's favorite food. So I've got a lot of work to do and rebuild. I'm going to file the insurance. I'm going to file this with my insurance company, and I will, when the money comes in, I'll buy new fencing because it's been mangled up pretty badly. It's been badly torn and ripped, and in places it's going to be cheaper to replace the fencing than it would be to put in stakes to try to prop it back up, because the fencing is cheaper than all the stakes I would need to rebuild all of this entire row. And the chicken wire has been damaged so badly, and ripped actually in places, that because it was beat down so hard that it was under tension, of course, and when it was beat down, it ripped strands of the wire. So it'll be cheaper to replace actual rolls and sections of the fence than to try to put up stakes. So I'm gonna file this with my insurance company, and when the claim comes through, then I'll rebuild. It's just a delay and a setback at the off-grid homestead. This is life out here in Homestead. Things happen, and you repair, you rebuild, and you keep moving on. There's always going to be something to do out here at the homestead. Life will never be boring. So you can see I've sort of tried to rig up the fencing a little bit here. You can see some of the strands broken. It was beat down so hard that a lot of the wires and strands are broken. So I'm going to have to just replace a lot of wire. Here, the entire side row is absolutely demolished, and a lot of my stakes and stuff were broken down and destroyed. So when the insurance money comes in, I'll replace all that. And for now, I'm just sort of propping things up, and I'm going to try to protect the few birds that I have left. I lost my favorite birds, sadly, and hopefully Big Boy over there will recover. I didn't notice the extent of the damage to him, but raccoons were in and did a lot of damage. Once the chicken wire was shorting out the electric fence, then animals were free to come and go and kill my birds as they pleased. Fortunately, this happened. This was confirmed by Chris, who was watching over my property. This did happen on Friday night, so he then noticed it the next day and propped up the fencing again, and minimized the damage due to predators. So I want to say thank you, Chris, in front of everybody. And Chris was here with the police and was a witness in filing the police report. So also, let me take you over. I got to pause the camera because the battery's dying, and I'll show you some of the other damage. I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but this has been neatly sliced with a knife. The police said that has been cut. That is not animal damage. He said that has been cut. And he did confirm that this was mostly vandalism. At first, we all thought bear at first, because there are bear out here. But when we looked around closer at the damage, the policeman said that is vandalism. So, I don't know who did it or why or what, and it's not my concern. The police are dealing with it, and I will file the insurance once the report comes through. And I will file the claim, and I will get the materials and rebuild and restore and repair and keep on moving on. So anyway, this is part of my daily life at the homestead, and I wanted to share with you. I am not whining or complaining, and that's why I did redo this video with a more fit and better attitude after sleeping a couple days more, because I was a zombie the other day when I got home. So I'm going to go in and edit this video, and so you guys can be up to date on what's going on here at the off-grid homestead. And just another day in the life. These things happen, and we move on. And there's always cuteness. Let me see if I can find that little guy. There's always cuteness. Look at that. Oops. Oh, you see his little tail now. They're so fast. All the animals are getting ready for winter. So the police are here. I don't know if they want recording or not, so I'm going to shut off the camera and ask them if I can record before I finish taking stock here. But I want to show the police are here to prove that this is no joke. This is for real. Here outside the workshop camper, the fence is down, and Chris and I just noticed after the police had gone, you probably won't see it on camera, but there's lines in the dirt here. You can see it if you crouch down and look from here. Is this something bicycle or some thin tired something came and gone out of here? So Chris, you also I know you were here when it happened. Thanks for being there for me, and thanks for talking to the police for me. Chris noticed it when it happened was yesterday morning, that all the fencing was down, and there's tracks in the ground here, and the police said definitely it looks like vandalism. I don't know if you can see this. You probably won't see this line on the camera. There's a line here, and then if I come back a ways, and that's definitely not from an animal. Of course, we've just been walking there, but there's some lines right here. There's a couple lines in here, and a clear line right here in the ground. It's something was there's actually, I see a few lines right here to the right of Chris. So there's definitely something ran through here with wheels, or was dragged or something through here. So oh, the more I look, the more I find damage to my entire perimeter of my fencing. And anyway, I did a police report. I'm going to file it with the insurance and rebuild. Got to do it all over again, eh, Chris? And that was a job. That was a job. But a large portion of the fencing is destroyed. So, I'm going to rebuild. What are we seeing right now? You thought it was what?
Dirt bike.
Dirt bike? Mountain bike?
Mountain bike, excuse me.
Yeah, because it looks like more than one. I can see the track comes along into here, and there's a couple tracks this way. It looks like whoever, whatever it was, came up from the hill down this way. That's what it looks like. Clearly, you can see tire tracks there, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Clearly. Yeah.
I think it'd be motored, though.
Yep. Bears don't do that. Deer don't do that. That's definitely tire tracks. You can trace it up through the hill up here. Definitely somebody was here. Well, I got it on video. I think that'll show up on camera when I get to the computer. I'm going to go in and process this video. I'll talk to you guys all later. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World on the Off-Grid Project.